Welcome back, diecast fans. Welcome to another episode of Jim's Magnificent Miniature Motor Cars, my second head-to-head in his many episodes, and my first ever head-to-head between two different manufacturers of exactly the same car. Yeah, I know I did that whole slammed versus stock video a few months back, but that was a stock Honda NSX by Tomica Limited Vintage Neo versus a slammed Honda NSX Type R versus Eno 64. No. There was too much. There were too many material differences in that case. No, this is basically an apples to apples comparison between two very prominent manufacturers. Okay, we have the Matchbox on the right, which I featured in my last video, which I unboxed and featured in my last video. And on the left, we have a regular Tomica. Not a premium one, not a limited vintage Neo one, just a regular Tomica. Okay, so let's get to the comparison, shall we? Well, I already unboxed this and let you guys know what I thought about this Matchbox last video. Thought it had great shape, great lines, but in the end, I rated it with a 7.5 because why? Well, instead of an interior, we get these blacked out windows, which are basically one piece together with a roof. Okay, we had a pretty clear-cut example of Matchbox cutting costs, and it kind of showed. That said, you know, the car still managed a 7.5 score in my eyes. Well, because it looks great. I mean, for me, at least, it captures the stance of this hot hatch, and it's basically got all of its visual appeal intact. Okay, now on to this Tomica, and I gotta tell you, I unboxed this. I actually considered doing an unboxing video of this, and I filmed one, but I just could not make peace with the fact that this Tomica is an expensive car. Okay, in my country, this is the equivalent of $5. And for $5, okay, to be fair, we get an interior. Unlike on the Matchbox, we get the side cameras. Okay, for the record, by the way, regular Tomicas never have side mirrors, so it was a refreshing change of pace that Tomica actually put the side cameras, that they reproduce the side cameras which appear on the real car. Okay, and we have suspension, which is another, I suppose, quote-unquote premium feature. But then we have these wheels. Okay, and this is the problem I have considering the price differential between these two cars. Okay, the Matchbox is $1 car. Here, we get it for just under $3. Okay, the Tomica, I think in just about everywhere except Japan, this is a $5 car. Okay, more if you live farther away from Japan, like Europe or the United States. Okay. So this is a more expensive car. Now, is it worth the price differential? You know, one could say it's a matter of opinion. And yeah, well, here I'm going to express mine. I got to say that considering how much more expensive it is in the Matchbox, you know, the Matchbox still does it for me with its 7.5 out of 10. I mean, it's just got a killer stance here. The Tomica, in contrast, well, on paper at least, it has working suspension, it has interiors, it has all the basic aspects of the car right. But then, look at these freaking wheels. Okay, look at the regular Tomica, look at the actual car as captured on the packaging, and look at this. I realize I may be courting disaster here by picking on these wheels. These wheels are revered by diecast collectors. Okay, Tomica hasn't been around for 15 years without winning over, whole generations of fans. And these wheels are, well, in my community here in the Philippines, they're fondly called buttons because they look like buttons. And I get the appeal, but the thing is, they don't always work. And on this particular car, I think they would have been better served with their quote-unquote sporty wheels, which are a bit thicker. Okay, and they reflect the fact that sporty cars run on thicker wheels than regular cars. Here they use their classic quote-unquote button wheels, a decision that I honestly do not agree with. Okay, so let's put these, let's put these one after the other, and let's compare them to a picture of the real Honda E. Okay, and so again, I stick by my score for the Matchbox Honda E. Okay, 7.5, mostly for its wonderful shape and contouring. But how do I now rate the Tomica? Okay, because like I said, it's got interiors, got the side cameras, got all the tampos, yada yada yada, got spring suspension, and yet it looks off. Okay, and remember, this is not a cheap car. So for the price, how do I rate it? Okay, well, I was hard pressed to think of how to rate it by itself, but now that I have a rival to measure it against, I have to say, okay, the Tomica loses out here. Okay, I know there are probably Tomica fans out there who's gonna want to crucify me for this, and I respect your opinion, but no, I have to put my foot down here. The Matchbox wins this round, and I have to give the Tomica a 6.5. Okay, I'd like to give it a 7, but the wheels, this choice of wheels, in my humble opinion, just looks so off with this car. Maybe I'd feel differently if they used the thicker wheels that they usually use on their performance cars. But for this specific model, I think Tomica did not do the Honda E justice. Okay, and that's it for this head-to-head. I hope you liked this video, whether or not you agreed with it. And I'll see you next time with more content. Okay? And you know the drill. If you like what you see, remember to give me a like and a subscribe.